I became a park ranger in the Colorado mountains last summer. I was 32 years old, and I thought this remote lodge would be a good place to heal after my breakup. It felt old, built in the 1960s, and somehow out of place among the sharp pine trees and rocky cliffs. I thought the solitude would help me. At first, everything felt normal. I spent my days walking the miles of trails, checking on visitors, and enjoying nature. Mostly, it was quiet. I liked that at first, but then I started to notice things at night. The quiet always felt heavy. On my first night, I heard laughter in the distance. It echoed through the trees. I thought it was kids at the nearby campground. I stepped outside to check. The parking lot was empty. The knot in my stomach started to grow, but I brushed it off. I figured I was just hearing things. Weeks went by, and the laughter changed. It became whispers. The words seemed to curl around the trees. I felt a pull, like the woods wanted me to follow. I would stand still, listening, my heart racing. I didn't want to believe it was real, but deep down, I knew something was off. I found strange symbols carved into tree bark. They were unlike anything I'd seen before. I tried asking hikers about them. They told me story after story of missing people. They said the woods had a way of swallowing them. I laughed it off, but my stomach twisted the more they spoke. I started waking up at night, feeling watched. I felt shadows moving outside my window. The whispers became louder, like they were trying to tell me something. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Something was hiding in those woods. One evening, I decided to go for a walk. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows. I thought I heard my name being called, but when I turned, no one was around. I felt sick. I picked up my pace, feeling panic creeping in. The shadows seemed to shift, shapes darting between the trees. I stopped, thinking I imagined it. But then I saw something. A figure was partly hidden behind a large tree. I tried to speak, but my voice got stuck. I was terrified, just standing there, mouth dry. "Are you okay?" I finally managed to ask. Then it spoke. "Why are you here?" Fear shot through me like electricity. I turned to run, but behind me there was nothing but darkness, just the deep, empty woods. Now I can't shake it off. Am I losing my mind? Or is something lurking in those trees, something I shouldn't have uncovered? Each night I lie in bed wondering, listening to the whispers. They won't leave me alone. I can still hear them calling. I fear one night I'll finally answer. I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that settled over me. The night after my encounter by the tree, sleep felt impossible. I tried to convince myself it was just a trick of the light or my imagination playing games, but deep down, I knew it was more. I decided I needed to figure out what was happening. I combed through the lodge's old library that day, searching for anything that might explain the whispers, the symbols, and that figure. Dusty books lined the shelves, forgotten tales of the mountains. Finally, I found a weathered journal tucked behind a stack of travel guides. The journal belonged to a ranger from decades ago. It detailed disappearances in the area. Each entry seemed more frantic than the last, filled with sketches of symbols, just like those I found carved into the trees. I felt sick reading someone else's account of losing their mind to the same darkness that was creeping into my life. And then I stumbled on a sentence that made my heart race. "They come for the lonely." I shut the journal abruptly, the words echoing in my head. I felt the weight of those words clawing at my sanity. Was it true? Was I too lonely, too vulnerable? That evening, I wrapped myself in layers and set out for a walk. I needed air, some space to think. The familiarity of the trails brought little comfort. The moment I stepped off the path, the woods closed in. I felt the whispers again, weaving in and out of the dim light. I hesitated, memories flooding back of the figure, its gaze adhering to me. As I wandered deeper into the trees, I started hearing my name. "Help me," it said softly, so softly that I almost dismissed it as wind. But then it came again, clear as day. Help me." I froze. The voice sounded so familiar, but it wasn't a voice I recognized, just an echo of desperation. "Who are you?" I called out, my heart thumping. "What do you want?" The whispers intensified, rising to a cacophony around me, drowning out my thoughts. I pushed forward, drawn toward the sound. Roots snagged at my boots, and I stumbled. Then, glinting in the fading light, I saw something on the ground, an old pendant, half buried in dirt. It had a strange symbol on it, one I had seen in the journal. My hands shook as I picked it up. The moment my fingers brushed against its cold surface, the air shifted. The whispers twisted into laughter, dark and mocking. Suddenly, silence blanketed the forest. It was suffocating, too quiet. My breath hitched. I turned, ready to bolt, but shadows flitted at the edges of my vision. Something was watching, more than just the trees. Then, everything went cold. I felt a chill wrap around me, dragging me backward, deeper into the grasp of the woods. I was not alone, and whatever was here wanted to stay hidden. I realized I had only uncovered a fraction of the truth. This wasn't just about me anymore. I stumbled back toward the path. The whispers returning, now louder, a chorus urging me to stay. But I couldn't. I was terrified. Just as I reached the edge of the trees, I heard laughter again, this time chillingly familiar. "Stay with us," it taunted. I ran. But the woods were no longer the comforting sanctuary I'd hoped for. With every heartbeat, I felt the darkness tightening around me. I fled into the night, desperate to escape what was hunting me. And somewhere behind me, the laughter echoed. The next morning, I barely slept. My nerves still buzzed from the night before. I couldn't shake the sense of being chased, even in the daylight. The whispers felt alive in my mind, a lingering echo coaxing me to return to the woods. But I had to fight it. I needed clarity. I decided to visit the ranger station in town. Maybe someone there could help me piece together what was happening. As I approached the small building, the sense of dread morphed into something sharper. The station looked forgotten, but I pressed on, determined to find answers. Inside, the walls were adorned with old maps and faded photographs of the surrounding area. I approached the young woman at the front desk. She looked up from her computer, her eyes registering fatigue. "Hi, I'm looking for information about disappearances in the woods, particularly around the old lodge," I said, trying to sound casual. She raised an eyebrow, skepticism evident. "That place has a history, you know. People rarely stay long." My stomach nodded as she gathered some materials from a file cabinet. I glanced at her name tag, Kate. I hoped she would take me seriously. Kate handed me a few papers, each containing summaries of past incidents. My heart sank as I read about people who went missing, only to reappear days later, disoriented and unable to explain what had happened. One entry caught my eye. Hikers reported hearing voices urging them into the forest. "Have you ever seen anything strange out there?" I asked, unable to mask my anxiety. Her expression shifted, serious now. "It's not just the whispers. Some say it's an allure, a call from something hidden. People say they've glimpsed shadows among the trees, with eyes watching." I felt the chill slide up my spine again. "What do you mean by samples? Have people returned? Say, changed?" She hesitated, glancing around as if someone might overhear. "Sometimes they don't come back the same. It's as if they carry something with them, something dark." Before I could reply, her phone buzzed. She picked it up and listened, her expression growing concerned. A hiker went missing, near the lodge. My breath caught. What if this was connected to me? Against my better judgment, I asked, "Are they looking for help?" "They always do." Kate's voice was somber. I left the station in a daze, my mind racing. As I walked back, I felt the weight of the pendant in my pocket. It burned against my skin, a constant reminder of my nightmarish discovery. I could almost hear the whispers again, taunting me. I realized I had to confront this head-on. As unsettling as it felt, I was drawn back to the trees, to the heart of the mystery. I needed to know what was truly waiting for me out there. That night, I stared out at the darkened woodline, fear twisting in my stomach. Something was pulling me back, and deep down, I wanted to understand why. Then I heard it, a distant voice, soft but persistent. "Help me." It sent a shiver coursing through my veins. I knew I couldn't ignore it anymore. Before I could think it through, I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside. The woods beckoned, and I was ready to find the truth, no matter the price. As I moved toward the trees, I felt a presence behind me. I turned quickly, but nothing was there. The night loomed heavy around me, filled with secrets waiting to be uncovered. And then, in the distance, I saw a flicker of light. The flicker pulled me in, like a moth to a flame. I stepped cautiously toward it, my heart pounding in my chest. The forest loomed around me, a blanket of darkness that seemed to swallow my breath. I forced myself to focus on the light. It danced among the trees, flickering just out of reach. I moved carefully, stepping over roots and avoiding patches of damp ground. The whispers returned, louder this time, building against the backdrop of the night. "Help me." They wrapped around my mind, tugging at my reason. I shook my head, trying to dispel the haze. As I got closer, I realized the light wasn't just a trick of the imagination. It was brighter now, illuminating a small clearing. My heart raced with a mix of fear and curiosity. What awaited me in that light? Just as I reached the clearing, the light blinked out, leaving me in an unsettling stillness. For a moment, there was nothing but darkness. I felt my pulse quicken, my senses heightened. I fumbled for my phone, turning on the flashlight feature. The beam cut through the shadows, revealing a small campfire pit surrounded by stones. From my angle, I saw something near the pit, a backpack. I approached slowly, taking care to scan the area. What if this belonged to the missing hiker? I knelt down to inspect the backpack. It was damp, probably from the rain, and covered in leaves. When I unzipped it, I found a few personal items: a half-eaten granola bar, a water bottle, and a worn-out map. My stomach twisted as I spotted a name scrawled on the map. Jake. "Jake, where are you?" I murmured. The weight of his absence hung heavy in the air. That's when I heard it again. "Help me." This time, it cut through the quiet with sharp urgency. It felt close, but I couldn't tell from where. I stood up, scanning the area. Tree line, dread pooling in the pit of my stomach. "Is someone there?" I called out, trying to keep my voice steady. There was no response, just the rustling leaves in the wind. The shadows shifted around me, and I caught movement from the corner of my eye. My breath caught as I turned, and then I saw him. A figure standing at the edge of the clearing, shrouded in darkness. I couldn't make out any features, but I felt the weight of his gaze. "Jake?" I called hesitantly, stepping toward him. I needed to know if he was real or just another illusion. As I approached, the figure took a step back, swallowed by the darkness. "Help me," he echoed, the plea more desperate this time. I felt cold dread wash over me. This wasn't just a hiker lost in the woods. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. I hesitated for a moment, torn between fleeing into the safety of my home or following whatever was beckoning me deeper into the unknown. Then, before I could decide, the light flickered back on, illuminating the space around me. But it wasn't just a campfire anymore. The flames danced wildly, casting eerie shadows that distorted the landscape. It was now or never. With a rush of adrenaline, I charged forward, but just as quickly as it appeared, the light extinguished once more. I stumbled forward, plunging into pitch-black darkness, and then everything went dark. I blinked against the darkness, struggling to gather my bearings. The weight of the silence pressed down on me. I took a deep breath, feeling the damp air fill my lungs. Panic bubbled up, but I forced myself to stay calm and focused. My phone's flashlight flickered back to life, illuminating the area in front of me. Where had the figure gone? I turned slowly, scanning for any sign of movement. The clearing felt more ominous now. Shadows shied away from the light as if they were alive, watching my every move. That's when I noticed a soft rustling sound behind me. I whipped around, adrenaline coursing through me. A dark shape scuttled past the edge of the clearing, disappearing into the underbrush. My heart raced. Was it Jake or something else entirely? I took a hesitant step back toward the campfire pit, but my hope faded with each breath. The backpack lay untouched, but there was something different about it now. A glint caught my eye. A small compass sat nestled among the items. I picked it up, feeling its cold metal in my palm. "Help me," the voice echoed again, clearer this time, as if someone was near. I glanced around, heart racing. The words twisted inside me, an urgent plea that filled me with dread. I felt trapped in a web of shadows, confusion surrounding me. As I examined the compass, I noticed that the needle spun erratically before it finally steadied itself, pointing deeper into the woods. A chill shot down my spine. Was it guiding me somewhere? Was I supposed to follow it? Before I could decide how to respond, the air shifted. A hushed whisper brushed against my ear, and I turned so fast I felt dizzy. "It's here," it said. I stepped back, biting my lip. I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. I clutched the compass, feeling its pulse against my skin, and faced the darkness. The whispers increased in intensity, each one pleading for help and echoing off the trees. "Jake?" I called out again. My tone was shaky, but the urgency made me press on. "Are you here? I can help you." The shadows seemed to swirl around me, pulling me toward the path the compass indicated. With each step, the air grew heavier. I glanced down at the compass. It moved as if it had a mind of its own, pulling me deeper into the forest. I hesitated, fear clenching my stomach. Should I trust it? Then I heard it, a sudden crack of a branch snapping behind me. I spun around, the flashlight beam cutting through the blackness. My heart pounded as I caught a glimpse of something, or someone, slipping away into the trees. I wasn't alone. That thought settled in like a rock in my gut. I had to know who or what was watching me. And as I followed the compass, a newfound determination swelled within me. I may not understand what was happening, but I couldn't ignore the shadowy figure. I needed answers. But the deeper I tread, the more aware I became of the heavy silence hanging around me. There was a promise of revelation, but at what cost? And just as I grappled with my resolve, I heard a new voice join the chorus. "Run." I froze. The compass trembled in my hand, pulling me toward the darkness, a stark reminder of the impending danger. Whatever it was, I was now in its sights. I couldn't shake the urgency of that whispered command. "Run." The words echoed in my mind as if they were rolling off the trees themselves. My instincts screamed at me to turn back, but the compass continued to pull me deeper into the darkness. I took a shaky breath, forcing my legs to move. Each step crackled against the fallen branches, the sound oddly loud in the stifling silence. The shadows swallowed the light from my phone, making it harder to see where I was going. But I had to follow the compass. As I walked, I spotted glimmers of light ahead, stray beams filtering through the trees. Hope surged in my chest. Maybe there was a way out, a safe spot, somewhere I could find Jake or contact help. I quickened my pace, driven by a mix of fear and determination. Just as I reached the edge of the shining light, my foot tripped over a gnarled root. I stumbled, crashing to the ground. The flashlight flickered and suddenly went out. Darkness engulfed me completely. My heart raced. I fumbled for the phone, fingers trembling. I turned it back on, but the bright screen felt fragile against this overwhelming black. I scrambled to my feet, half expecting something to pounce from the shadows. That gnawing sensation of being watched returned, stronger than ever. I squinted into the darkness where the light had been moments before. The whispering had quieted, replaced by the sound of rushing blood in my ears. It was as if the forest was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Then, just beyond the reach of my light, a familiar figure emerged. It was Jake, disheveled, eyes wide with panic. Relief surged through me, but before I could call out, something shifted behind him. My stomach dropped. The shadows began to move, spelling danger in every direction. Jake seemed unaware of the presence closing in around him. "Jake!" I shouted, my voice hoarse. I waved my flashlight, trying to get his attention. He turned, confusion written across his face. "What are you doing here?" His voice was frantic. "You need to leave." The words barely registered before I felt a sharp tug at my hair. I gasped and spun around, but there was nothing there, just shadows swirling ominously. I turned back to Jake, panic rising. "Something is out here," I cried, feeling the compass grow warmer against my palm. I clutched it like a lifeline. "It's not safe." But his expression shifted from confusion to fear as he glanced back into the darkness, as if he sensed it too. "We have to go, now!" Without thinking, I rushed to his side. Together, we turned to run, the compass lighting the way as we sprinted deeper into the woods. The air felt electric, each rustle in the underbrush sending jolts of adrenaline through me. Then came the sound, a low growl reverberating through the trees. I froze again, eyes darting around, but the darkness concealed everything. "Keep moving," Jake urged, pulling my arm, but my feet felt glued to the ground. Panic threatened to overtake me, and I could sense whatever was stalking us was getting closer. Just then, a figure burst out of the underbrush, a creature with glowing eyes. I stumbled back, but Jake caught my arm. "Go!" he shouted, his grip firm. We bolted forward, the forest alive with movement around us. But as we ran, the whispers rose again, louder this time. "Help us," they pleaded. A new sense of dread washed over me. Who were these voices, and what were they warning us about? The darkness felt like it was closing in, and just as I thought it couldn't get any worse, I heard footsteps behind us, heavy and relentless. We weren't just being watched anymore, we were being hunted. I couldn't shake the pounding of my heart as we sprinted through the trees. Each breath felt like it pulled in the chill of the night, and the shadows seemed to shift with every hurried step. Jake was pulling me along, but I couldn't tell if he was leading or just as lost as I was. The whispers grew louder, swirling around us. "Where do we go?" I yelled, my voice cracking. Every instinct told me to run faster, to escape the darkness, but the forest felt like a maze. "Just keep moving," Jake shouted back, and I could hear that panic edged into his tone. We veered left, narrowly missing a low-hanging branch. Then I spotted something, a glimmer, a possible refuge just ahead. A small wooden cabin sat nestled between two towering pines. Hope flared in my chest. "Jake, over there!" I cried, pointing as the faint light flickered like a beacon. He hesitated, glancing back at the shadows creeping closer. "I don't know if it's safe." "Please," I begged, desperation spilling into my voice. "We have to try." Without waiting for an answer, I sprinted toward the cabin, praying he would follow. The wooden door creaked open under my touch, and I stumbled inside, dragging Jake in behind me. The inside was dimly lit, illuminated by candles that flickered like the flames held secrets of their own. Dust danced in the air. Old furniture was strewn about haphazardly, as if someone had left in a hurry. It felt abandoned, but still it was a refuge compared to the chaos outside. "Where are we?" Jake panted, his breath visible in the cool air. "I don't know," I admitted, trying to steady my racing thoughts. but it has to be better than out there. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed from outside. Our hearts dropped in unison, the sound booming like a warning. Jake moved to the window, peering through the grime. His face turned pale. "It's here," he whispered, his voice a wreck. "What is it?" I pressed, fighting to keep the fear from my own voice. He turned slowly, eyes wide with horror. "I saw those glowing eyes again. It's waiting for us." I could feel the panic building again, creeping like vines around my heart. "We can't stay here. We need to find a way out." Just then, the cabin's door rattled violently, hinges squealing as something on the other side pushed hard against it. Our eyes locked, and a silent agreement formed between us. Jake rushed to the back of the cabin, searching for another exit. I followed closely, glancing over my shoulder at the door. Whatever was outside wasn't just watching anymore. The way it pressed against the wood made it clear it would stop at nothing to get in. "Here," Jake called out, and I ran to him as he pulled open a small window. It would barely fit, but with the door shaking violently, we didn't have a choice. Without hesitating, he climbed through, but I hesitated. The whispers grew louder, melding into a painful cacophony in my mind. "Help us! Help us!" I squeezed my eyes shut, trying to drown them out. Just when I thought I couldn't take it any longer, I heard the door break open behind. The creature roared, and I felt the wind of its presence rush past me. "Jump!" Jake shouted, and I dove through the window just as I heard the splintering of wood, followed by a deep growl that resonated through the night. I hit the ground hard, the damp earth filling my lungs with a cold shock. Jake was already up, glancing back at the cabin as dread crept back into my bones. "What now?" I gasped, trying to steady myself. But instead of answering, he pointed into the trees. That was when I saw it. Just beyond the trees, a flicker of movement, a pair of glowing eyes fixated on us. More than one, waiting. We had to keep moving. Before curiosity could settle in my mind, I understood one thing. The hunt was far from over. We took off through the trees again, adrenaline surging through my veins. Every crack of a twig underfoot felt like a signal to the eyes watching us. I focused on Jake, his silhouette darting ahead, leading the way through the endless dark. With every stride, fear tightened its grip. "Where do we go?" I breathed, trying to keep pace. "Just run!" he shouted back, urgency lacing his voice. We careened deeper into the woods, branches whipping at us like angry hands. I could hear growls in the distance now, a chorus echoing our panic. I wanted to shout back, to ask if it was gaining, but any words I had were trapped in my throat. Then I heard it, whispers again, but these were clearer now. They wrapped around my mind, luring me with promises of safety. "This way, come closer." "Don't listen," Jake barked, glancing back. "Keep moving." But something about the whispers tugged at me, like a drowning swimmer grasping for a life raft. I stumbled, torn between instinct and curiosity. "Focus!" he yelled, and the urgency in his voice jolted me back. I pushed forward, the whispers fading as we forged deeper into the wilderness. But soon, another noise broke the night, crunching leaves, low and rhythmic. My chest tightened. We were being hunted, and the realization sank in like lead. "There," Jake pointed to a cluster of rocks ahead, a potential hiding spot. "We can hide there." We rushed toward the rocks, knees shaking as we ducked behind the boulders just as the sounds grew nearer. Heavy footsteps echoed around us, and I could feel the vibrations in my bones. Peering from our concealment, I saw a group of figures moving through the underbrush, their eyes glowing eerily in the dark. They were not just animals. These were something else, something far worse. Shadows twisted into shapes that shouldn't exist, their forms shifting unnaturally. "Jake, what are they?"
I whispered, fear wrapping around my tongue. "I don't know, but we need to stay quiet," he murmured, his breathing heavy. The group moved through the forest with an unsettling grace, as if they were part of the night itself. One paused, turning its head, and I felt its gaze pierce through the darkness. I ducked low, heart racing. The air felt electric, charged with a threat that had a life of its own. "Shh," Jake whispered, his eyes locked on the figures. Minutes stretched painfully as we held our breaths, waiting for the tension to snap. Suddenly, one of the figures sprang forward, lurching toward another small creature that scampered nearby. My stomach dropped as I realized it wasn't hunting for food, it was hunting for us. Just then, the underbrush snapped behind us. I went rigid, adrenaline surging once again. "What was that?" I gasped, glancing at Jake. He shook his head, wide-eyed. "I don't know, but we can't stay here." We darted from our hiding place, bolting in the opposite direction. As we zigzagged through the trees, I could hear the whispers returning, louder this time, pulling at my mind again. "Join us. Join us." "Focus, stay with me," Jake urged, taking my hand. We ran and ran, but I could sense they were closing in. The forest felt alive, as if it were conspiring against us. The darkness wrapped around us tighter, and just when I thought we could escape, I heard it, a chorus of low growls surrounding us from every side. And then, everything went dark. I jolted awake, breathless and disoriented. The darkness felt thick, almost tangible. My heart raced, hammering against my ribs as the panic washed away the fog in my mind. Had it all been a dream? But then I heard it again, a faint rustling nearby. My pulse quickened. I turned, trying to make out shapes in the blackness. That's when I felt the cool ground beneath me, damp with leaves and dirt. The smell of earth hung heavy in the air, mingling with something sharp. "Jake?" I called out, my voice breaking the silence. No response. Just the rustling, closer now. I scrambled to my feet, feeling the uneven terrain under my shoes. A soft glow appeared in the distance, a pale light flickering like a candle. Instinct urged me to move toward it. I stepped forward, slowly, hesitant. What if it was a trap? The whispers echoed faintly in my mind, drawing me toward the glow. "This way. Join us." But I gritted my teeth against the temptation and pressed onward. The rustling persisted, now accompanied by a low growl. Where was Jake? My mind raced with worry. As I approached the light, I noticed shadows shifting just outside of its reach. They flickered and danced, teasing me with the promise of safety, but something in my gut warned against it. I turned back, calling, "Jake!" again. That's when I heard a voice, not the whispers. It was low and gravelly, but clear. "He's not here." I froze. "Who are you?" I demanded, scanning the trees for the source. "Just someone drawn to the call," it replied, sinister amusement lacing its words. "What do you seek?" My heart raced. This was no ordinary encounter. "I'm looking for my friend. He was here with me." A smirk broke through the shadows, revealing eyes that glinted with malicious glee. "Your friend is far from here. He's where the light can't reach." Panic gripped me. "No, I couldn't let that be true. I need to find him," I said, stepping back, my voice cracking. "Join us," the figure said, its voice silky, the shadows shifting closer. "You would find him if you joined us, if you embraced the darkness. It's tempting, isn't it?" Suddenly, the rustling escalated behind me. I turned, my eyes darting, and in that moment of distraction, the shadows lunged. I stumbled back, feeling a cold breeze rush past me. They were crawling closer, whispering sweet nothings that made my skin crawl. "No!" I shouted, breaking free from the grasp of the darkness, my instincts kicking in. I bolted toward the flickering light, desperation fueling my every step. But as I drew closer, the light vanished, leaving me enveloped in complete darkness once more. I skidded to a stop. The path before me split into two. I could either follow the whispering shadows, beckoning me to join them, or take the less appealing option of going deeper into the unknown. That's when I noticed something glinting in the mud at my feet. I tightened my grip on the object. The knife I must have dropped earlier. I wasn't ready to give in yet. But the growling returned, fierce and close. I had to make a choice. Then I heard a familiar cry, a voice I'd been longing for. "Help me!" That wasn't just the darkness trying to trick me. I needed to decide. I took a deep breath and sprinted left. The thicket of trees seemed to close in around me as I pushed forward. Every step felt like a gamble, the biting cold air tightening my lungs. The voice calling for help echoed again, clearer this time, drumming against my skull like a drumbeat of urgency. I thought of Jake. Was he close? Or was I just running deeper into the woods where shadows walked? With one hand gripping the knife and the other wrapped around the compass, I felt the frantic pull steering me forward. The whispers grew distant, amalgamating into a low hum that vibrated through the trees and branches, though I knew they were still watching, waiting. I focused on the sound of the voice, my heart racing as I sprinted between the rugged trunks, dodging low branches that threatened to snag at my clothes. I could hear growls behind me, joining the thudding of my heart as panic swelled. I couldn't look back. I wanted to shout for Jake again, but it felt like a betrayal to that desperate call. I had to follow. As I stumbled across a rocky outcrop, the voice became an overwhelming pull. "Help!" it echoed in a pained whisper, and I fought against the instinct to let fear carry me away. Suddenly, the trees started to thin out, giving way to a clearing lined with wildflowers despite the threatening shadows. In the middle stood a woman, or something that looked like one. Her hair flowed like mist, eyes dark and deep. She raised a hand, beckoning me closer. "Jake," I shouted, scanning the perimeter of the clearing. But the sinister creature smiled as she pointed to the shadows around her. "He's here, deep in the embrace of the forest. You must choose." I felt the compass in my grip heat up at her words, like a warning. The ground beneath me felt charged, as if something ancient and powerful was thrumming beneath the surface. "No! Where is he?" I shouted, feeling a desperate surge of energy coursing through me. "Join us," she whispered, the invitation dripping with enticing luring. "Become one with the woods. It will grant you strength. You need only accept." The shadows shifted, flickering like flames, as if they were waiting for my decision. I took a hesitant step forward, conflicted by the pull of the darkness. The laughter and whispers surged at my back, tempting me with promises of solace, but I wouldn't turn away from Jake. "No!" I yelled as my voice shattered the tension, filling the clearing with defiance. The moment I spoke, the ground quaked. Creatures lurking in the shadows shifted restlessly, and something broke loose deep within the darkness, an ominous roar that reverberated through everything around me. Then, in that moment of chaos, I felt it, a thrust of energy spiraling upward. The shadows cast by the woman retreated, sputtering like flickering flames, and the voice echoed out once more. "Jake!" I cried again, the urgency rising in my chest. Desperate, I punched my way through the growing darkness where I sensed Jake's presence, the compass guiding me, urging me to break free from the pull that threatened to engulf me. Fighting against the shadows, I ran deeper into the clearing.
I could feel a lump in my throat as the unsettlement danced at the edges of my mind, but I pushed through it, desperate to find him. That's when I saw him. Jake, standing at the edge of the clearing, eyes wide with confusion and dread. He was almost transparent, as if he were caught somewhere between worlds. "Jake!" I yelled, rushing toward him. But the shadows were closing in, gripping the space around him like chains. "We have to get out of here!" Everything felt surreal, almost like a nightmare I couldn't wake from. Like the glow surrounding us was carpeted with fear and despair. "Take my hand," he shouted, desperation etched in his features, "before they pull me back." As I reached for him, a sharp pain cut through my gut. The dark figure had lunged, catching me with its claws. I felt a jolt of cold sweep through me, but all I could see was Jake, yearning for freedom. In that moment of clarity, I inched closer, ignoring the pain. "I won't leave you," I shouted. "Hold on." The shadows advanced, intertwining with vicious intent, but everything swirled around us. I couldn't tell if it was him or me who pulled away for a moment, but the strength surged again, igniting a flame within me that fought against the darkness. Then, together, we broke through the grip of the shadows, his hand finding mine. A rushing wind spiraled around us, uprooting the shadows and sending them howling into the night, retreating into the forest. We staggered back, breathing heavily, every whisper drowned out by the fierce wind. I held on to him tightly, feeling reality stitch itself back into place. We had escaped, at least for now. But as we turned to leave the clearing, I could still hear them lurking just outside, the whispers of the forest, lingering with the promise of shadows. They were waiting for the next moment of weakness, leaving a thin veil of fear rooting in our minds. I glanced at Jake, taking in his wild eyes full of uncertainty. "What now?" I whispered, feeling the weight of unknown dangers still ahead. In response, he pointed to a path that wound through the darkness, far less inviting than the one we had just fled. "We keep moving." As we stepped forward, the world of shadows closed around us again, the trees wrapping like sentinels. But together, we might just uncover the truth that the woods held, no matter how haunting.